Aubrey Bursch with Easy School Marketing. I'm excited you're here with me today. So we're going to talk about a hot topic that recently came up in our Small School Leaders Meetup, which you should totally come to because they're super fun and helpful. So we're going to talk about print materials versus digital. Which is best for your school? Very important discussion. Many schools, especially small schools, kind of are reevaluating their budgets and asking, what should we keep? Like, is our print materials, worth it? Are they here to stay? Or should we consider different options and go digital? So today we're going to review innovative ways schools are kind of rethinking that situation and kind of how to determine for your school if that's the right choice, right? So let's dive in. So how to determine if print is working for you. So number one, it's really knowing your audience, right? So a lot of schools that we talk to have younger audiences coming through, younger prospective families coming through the doors. And these might be eco-conscious families that really are concerned with the environment impact of print, and also they're more tech savvy, right? So a lot of schools are finding that traditional view book is not really the best way to connect with these families. And they're looking at different ways. Either they are doing just a postcard with a QR code to something, or a specific landing page, or they have an email series that's going out, or they're doing a video series. A couple of schools I know are doing really cool video series for prospective families. So there are many different options. So they're considering, do we just do away with it altogether? Do we make it a smaller print job? So not a huge view book, but a smaller print job with a connection to a virtual, a digital element. So that is something that schools are thinking about when they're thinking about their audience for, prospective families. In addition, schools are also looking at, okay, so where does print still need to happen? So if they're looking at their lists, their friends and family lists, and they're realizing that a lot of, alumni families, they maybe only have mailing addresses, well, then they don't want to get rid of print altogether, right? You still want to connect with those. And then you have some schools who have an older population that actually connects with print materials more than the digital. So looking at your audience and figuring out, okay, where does it make sense for me to stick with print? So those people who are considering sticking with print are actually saying, okay, but let's see, printing the whole annual report and printing a huge magazine maybe isn't in our budget. We can no longer do that. I mean, the printing and mailing costs are huge. So what can we do instead to really engage that audience, that older audience, or the ones where we only have mailing addresses? And some are doing a postcard mailer with a QR code or link to a landing page that showcases the digital version of the annual report or the magazine. Others are just creating smaller pamphlets and then connecting to a digital aspect. So some are just using the postcard method throughout the year. Instead of producing one big, thing at one time period of the year, they're doing little soft touch pieces sprinkled throughout the year to that larger list, which really engages them with the school, not just once a year, but throughout, and has that warm and fuzzy feeling. So those are things to think about. So your audience is huge, right? Knowing your audience, knowing how they consume, knowing what information you have about your audience, very important. Number two, return on investment. This is huge. A big reason many schools were moving away from a completely print version of their view book or any admissions materials is because the return on investment, they weren't seeing a direct return on investment. For example, they might have tried out the hybrid approach of half print, half digital, or all digital, and guess what? Nothing really changed. They still had the same outcome. So if the return on investment is the same regardless, then why would you spend more money, right? So they're thinking that way, right? Now, some things like print pieces that would go to your mailing list or older audience, maybe you're not seeing a direct return on investment, but it's monitoring, okay, are these smaller print pieces, can they save us money but still have the same effect? So it's looking always at the return on investment. And it's really understanding that, figuring out if this money is worth the return on your investment. And if you used it elsewhere, would you get a higher return on investment, right? So with the money you're saving from huge print pieces, could you then do more digital ads and attract more enrollment? Could you hire someone? Oh my gosh, even like someone for a couple hours a week during your peak seasons in enrollment to help with everything else. Would that be better than spending X amount of your budget on print materials? Yes. So I always ask when I'm looking at any budget, and especially like print costs, like what's the return on investment and where else could we use those funds to get a higher return on investment? So I hope this was helpful to you. I'd love to hear from you. What did you find helpful in this, and how are you using print materials and digital pieces in your enrollment and development efforts? Take care.